prayer. It was mean to call him too in the video. Price reduction. What?
To what?
I'm gonna try. I don't know if I'm gonna succeed, but $6.99 would be good, but I don't know if they would go that low. Liz McGree called too, which is also rare.
I saw her yesterday. She was right in front of me in yoga. Oh my God.
These commercial folks are getting a little bit more anxious. I'm gonna go through this whole round of videos to keep everybody happy.
Wow. Can you hear me?
Good morning. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Oh, Miss Yakima. God, I have been in Washington a long time.
Who's this? Larry?
Yeah, I'm Mr. Daphne. I'm down in Mobile,
Oh, okay.
or close to Mobile. But
I love it. We've got Mr. Mobile and Mr. and Mrs. Yakima. We don't have just a Southern California flavor today.
Yeah, I know. And golly, I used to live in Wenatchee.
Oh my.
And I ran. I didn't run anything. I was a driver for Schwann's, and I used to drive out to Yakima and deliver out there. So
Awesome.
So I'm familiar with that area.
Cool. Well, I'm good. I'm glad that you're in this area. Like, it's good to hear that we're not the only out-of-state DLE members so far. It's really cool. So that's awesome.
Yeah. No, this was and like Jeff said, we there's so many of us that have started to join that aren't directly in that Southern California, but we don't have all those meetings that are close by and everything else. So Miss Somerville is South Carolina, I think, or North Carolina.
So yes, South Carolina. It's right by Charleston.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Jeff, did you get a Seattle person yet?
No, I didn't. I didn't. But I've got one. I've got a pretty good candidate. I need to connect with him. He was in Mexico last week. I'm headed back there. My wife and I are going to come out following a wedding we've got in Colorado on the 18th and 19th that weekend. So we're going to spend that week on the front end of Memorial Weekend in Seattle. Work on the condo a little bit and see how it goes. I'll be meeting with this one fella that I've got. He's an EXP agent who's got a pretty good sized team, and I'm going to be talking to him about it. But I'm still open if you've got any other ideas.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. So we're gonna give it a few minutes today. How you doing, Mr. Yakima? Good to see you.
Fantastic. Thank you.
All right. Okay, we're gonna give everyone a couple more minutes here. Let's see here. All right. All right, we're gonna get started in like 1 minute. We'll give them until 10:01, and then we're just gonna dive right into it. All right, Miss Thousand Oaks, good to see you, Mr. Tustin. All right, you got Mr. Rancho here. Okay. All right, game time. We're just gonna hop right into it. Everyone's got a busy day, so. Okay, so what I want to really just kind of, open up with, the members today is I'm getting a lot of feedback from different members, just throughout the country who are you know, their online presence using our software with the metadata infusions and being connected to DLE. We're trying to learn how we're going to pour more gasoline on the fire. And I'm collecting a lot of different information. So anyone today that wants to just really open up and share what they're experiencing as far as, incoming calls with, any business you're getting from people finding you on Google or any sort of online presence, right? And the goal today is to have people open up and share their experiences, how their, DLE identity is allowing them to capture local listings. And, that's going to be a big part of it today. So, Mr. Tustin, can you hear me there? Are you with us? All right. We got Mr. Laverne and Mr. Fresno, Mr. Cypress, Miss Pasadena. Okay. People are jumping in. Okay, hang on. All right. Mr. Daphne, you in Alabama there? Can you hear us? All right.
Yes, I can hear you.
How you doing, by the way?
Doing pretty good. Had our first organic call where I picked up a client for just the Mr. Daphne name, where I was able to trace it back specifically to that.
Oh, wow, nice. So was it a listing call, a buyer lead? What happened for you out there?
It was a buyer call.
Buyer call. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Get a little something cooking there. Okay. And that's good to hear. That's good to hear. You locked down that person as a client. How did it transpire? So they found you on Google, gave you a ring?
Yeah. And I don't know if specifically if they found me on Google. I think they saw the car out in public, and then just looked it up that way, and then called me off of Google. But at any rate, they are signed, they are qualified, and we're just hunting them a house now.
Nice. So that's a good feeling. That's a good feeling.
Absolutely.
And okay, so Mr. Tustin, can you hear me there? You can see me?
Yes, sir. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. Morning.
Morning.
Hey, so I just wanted you to just kind of, I know you just got a listing here in Tustin, and do you mind sharing with the group how you've leveraged the metadata software you've infiltrated Nextdoor in YouTube Shorts, if I'm hearing that correctly, and you've posted on those platforms, and it's allowed you to really leverage it to increase your SEO? Anything you want to, any wins you want to share about being Mr. Tustin, what you're experiencing?
Yeah, well, first of all, I did get a call yesterday. It was a Spanish-speaking person from Google, and he saw the photos of the townhouse that I have under contract. So he asked me to do a seller sheet, a net sheet, because he has a townhouse that he wants to sell in Tustin. So that was yesterday around 4 p.m. So that's the latest. But
wow, speaking is your
yeah.
So I've had members come up. I've had Spanish people, but when they're looking on Google, does it translate your profile from English to Spanish?
No, but it does say under businesses on the Google business, it says languages spoken. And that's where I have it. And also I do a lot of photos, and some of the photos have some Spanish words. So what I think that they just go through the photos and they find something in Spanish, or they find videos, or they probably do some research. And if they look on your social media, or they look on YouTube and they see that you speak a different language, they'll contact you. That's what happened. I answered in English, and the guy asked answer in Spanish. He said, "Hey, is this Mauricio?" I'm like, "Yeah, claro." And then he just started from there. But yeah,
that's a solid listing lead. Congratulations.
Yeah, no, I already sent the documents to escrow. And so regarding your question, what I started doing is I started messing with Nextdoor just because I wanted to get to know the neighbors. And you always talked about metadating the photos. So I was just testing out the waters. I did a post about a lost dog, and I sent it to Moz. So I got the photo tagged, and I put the photo out there. At that time, when I Google Tustin real estate, I was actually number 9. So I was not even on the front page. So that post, because I select all the neighbors around, like it's like, I forget how many neighborhoods, but all in Tustin, that post got 16,000 views. So 16,000 clicks on the photo that's tagged. Wow. So that same week, just for fun, I was just messing around, working at night. I checked, and that week it jumped me from 9 to number 2 that
Wow.
week. And the way I assume is because Nextdoor is very geographic, so it's all people around you. It doesn't go to Norwalk, or it won't go to Anaheim Hills. It will stay within your neighborhood.
And
So
so
I
the
start.
picture just floated to the top and stay there, and everyone. So you did the Trojan horse, and then you launch it on Nextdoor. You infiltrated that network because your Nextdoor account's Mr. Tustin Real Estate.
Yes.
Now 16,000 homeowners and potentially here that own properties in Tustin know who you are. They're seeing it, and that's backlinking to your Google business profile, and it shot you up. That's wow.
And the other thing is, I did what Felix recommends to do, which is to
Ay, caramba.
respond to every comment. So anytime there was a comment, I would comment back and just keep pushing for about a week. The post was at the very top, and what happened is there's quite a few people that I met at the park. My wife was with me one time when one guy said, "Oh, so you're Mr. Tustin." So people look at that stuff, and because it's all like nearby, I really I don't have any data to prove it other than the fact that I was number 9, and that same week, within maybe 4 days, I was jumped to number 2 on Google when you research Tustin real estate.
Wow.
I have a question on that. What did you post exactly? So you said you posted a picture, but what type of picture was that, Mauricio?
It was just a dog that I did find on the street that was homeless. So the dog looked really bad. I took some pictures, and I was trying to find him a home. I did find him a home, by the way. But I just put, hey, is anyone looking to adopt? I found this dog in a really horrible condition. I have him for now, blah, blah, blah. And it's, at first it just started like a couple posts, and then it just started flooding. But after that, I've done a few more. So 2 weeks ago, I did one of my cilantro plant. Just cilantro that I have in the background. Hey, is anybody else growing cilantro? Looks like it's growing everywhere now. Boom, boom, boom. About 3,000 views just from that. So it's Nextdoor is very different. You cannot. I've noticed that if you post something about real estate, it's crickets, nothing, no one. But anything you do about butterflies, hummingbirds, anything about the neighborhood, there's an accident, a street closed, people start to comment, and that I've noticed that's what really helps the business. That, and what Anthony mentioned, the YouTube Shorts. When I look up Tustin Real Estate or Tustin Realtors, whatever, and you look on images, all you see are houses from different people, and suddenly you see my face as a thumbnail. And I'm the only one that shows the face, and the only one that shows some thumbnails from YouTube. So I assume that it's working, because right now I'm ranking pretty high, and I just got my first call yesterday.
Dude, hell yeah. Congratulations. That's
Thank you.
You guys hear that? So if anyone here knows a foreign language, if you add that to your Google business profile, I'm sure when they look it up, it just translates on their user end, so that guy, I mean, even though it's primarily English for you, you click Spanish speaking. And so Spanish speaking people look up words, your profile's still number 1. Now, 2 things come to my mind. You need to email, the web development team, web dev at Designated Local Expert. That Nextdoor icon that has your profile, right? And then also the YouTube Shorts, that profile link should be connected to your landing page, because remember, all the social medias now that are on the landing page can directly connect to your Google business profile, like Facebook and Instagram. So when you post there, it feeds to your, Google business profile. But that's extremely powerful. Did you hear that? And he just got a, listing appointment just like that. I mean, it's creating momentum.
Well, what I'm thinking is, shouldn't we be doing some long tail keywords for the metadata infusion that are in Spanish?
It's a great idea. Wow.
It's a great idea.
Brainstorm on that. Like,
yeah.
How many?
I'll check into that. But my guess is that, if we put best realtor in Tustin and then Spanish best realtor in Tustin, that those are probably good tags.
Yeah. No, great thinking, because that's going to be good for generative AI. So we got Google business profiles, generative AI, YouTube, and no, that's awesome. I'm going to look into that. I will brainstorm for the crew with the Google product expert community on, because Jeff's going to be releasing to the group this next in 2 weeks an app that you could download. So we're going to also have to tie that in with the software to where we could, you can choose your keywords in a different language and it'll save your account. But we got to get more information on that. Thank you, Mr. Tustin. Real quick, I see Mr. Chatsworth. Is that you driving there, the Mr. Chatsworth mobile?
The Chatmobile, absolutely.
Share
That's
with us
me.
if Mr. Chatsworth wins. Let's go. Let's hear it, baby.
All right, so a couple wins. One, I took a listing mid-month last month. The woman had a 25-year relationship with her realtor, but she saw Mr. Chatsworth on Nextdoor. She got my mailers. She got my newsletter. And she said, I got to go with Mr. Chatsworth. Her agent was from Thousand Oaks, and we sold it in 2 days. We got her 50,000 more than she thought she could get. And in less than a month, she's no longer living in Chatsworth. She's living in Napa, going into retirement. So I think I shared with you, Anthony, that what you're doing really is a very refined version of guerrilla marketing. All the different touches you get between print mail, texting, phone calls, short codes, all of those different touches that you have are really starting to culminate, and we're putting together some really nice momentum. 30 days, I got 3 listings, 3 sold, 2 land deals, and yesterday I picked up $1.5 million listing for a divorcing couple. So the pain of 23 is gone, and it's all because of your systems.
Dude, Mr. Chatsworth killing the game. And now, is that a Mr. Chatsworth like Hawaiian shirt I see there? You got the swag on? Is that
that's camouflage. That's camouflage, Mr. Chatsworth.
Oh my God, let me see that. Don't crash the car, but let me see that. Hold up the designation. I like that. Oh, there it is. Wow. Look at that. You guys doing it. Wow.
Yeah, the polo shirts are nice if you don't have a belly. So I switched to these shirts.
Now, Mr. Chatsworth, you even mentioned to me so you've been wearing the swag and really embraced the lifestyle brand and the Chatsworth mobile. And you mentioned people search you out so much that they even know who your wife is, and now your wife's being approached as.
Yes. Yeah, so it's comical. My wife came home the other day. She was out at Costco, which is, I gotta guess, probably about 13 miles from our home. And someone walked up to her and said, "Are you Mr. or Mrs. Chatsworth?" And it was just because of all my public posting. I got into her car over at the local grocery store, and someone came up to me and said, "Wait a minute, that's not the Chatmobile. How come you're driving an unmarked car?" So we really are starting to gain some traction with the community.
Awesome. Awesome. Congratulations. And then I remember you had that pancake breakfast and you picked up listings that way. And, but I heard another correlation there. I mean, so you got that, you got Nextdoor. And that pancake breakfast panned out pretty well, right?
Pancake breakfast got me 2 listings, and I just know in my heart, because all of those people talk to me on a weekly basis, that when they sell, I'm their agent. We build a relationship. It was inexpensive. I don't think I spent $200. I fed 40 people, and I did 30,000 in commissions from it. So it was worth the effort.
So being Mr. Chatsworth and your wife, being Miss Chatsworth now and the Chatmobile, how does that make you feel? Because you've really embraced it for over a solid year, and it's really starting to compound substantially. But how do you feel every day? I mean, I'm just looking at you drive with that shirt, and you just look like a confident,
Yeah, so I feel, so I'm having fun. I'm remaining humble because I know the the risk of getting cocky equates to the risk of getting lazy. So I keep working. I keep putting out my video content and keep writing. So I'm just doubling down on the things that I know work. And how does it make me feel? It makes me feel grateful and humble that frankly that you came into my life. This concept here is so simple and yet so powerful. It's a shame more people don't apply it. You've got a good thing going.
Love it. Love it. Okay. I see we got Mr. Laverne there with us. Can you hear us, Mr. Laverne? You there? Okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
You there? Okay. Hey, what did it feel like when your print mail hit hard and you got a listing from your notepad? How'd that make you feel?
I made everything you say kind of come full circle. Like I understand the concept, I understand, but it's I bought into it a long time ago. Everything you're saying makes sense, but that was the first time it actually all came together. So worked on the print ad, mailed it out like we talked about, and then obviously get more people scanning, texting the short code, for, tips or whatever, so I get their address and then, obviously tried a couple times to go door knocking and a couple times, told to buzz off, so I know that's part of the game too, but this is obviously they picked up the phone and called me based on that print mail, and then obviously went over and did our thing and got the listing, but that came directly from the print mail. And then because of that, I took, and I'm doing another one now, and it's actually going to roll out next week. So based on the commission I got off that, I took part of it and rolled it into so I like to do quarterly, if I could, these print mails, and then team it up with what you're talking about with the HomeBot and the digital version of that, and then get more videos like everyone's talking about. And yeah, a lot of good ideas. But yeah, that was the first one that came full circle and kind of, I'm all in. I just got to get my Google review.
It's an amazing feeling when your print mail actually hits hard and converts, and yeah. And well, thank you for sharing that with us. And that's awesome, and yeah, we're going to be we're going to really elevate that. And everyone, he's mass mailing those notepads. It's hitting hard and it's powerful because, people hold on to those for years. And you mentioned your kids at school all had the notepads. Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny. Actually, one of the teachers that my daughter has that wrote a note for her to come home, and it actually was on our notepad, which was hilarious. And she didn't really make the connection. She didn't know that our daughter, that we're the parents, right? I mean, so Mr. and Mrs. Laverne, her last name's not Laverne, right? So I mean, but it was funny to see that people are actually using those and hold on to them. So that's really cool.
Yep. So that's top of mind awareness on steroids. Okay, Miss Redlands, I see you. Can you hear me? You there, Miss Redlands? I see you.
Yes, I'm here.
How did it make you feel when you mentioned to me, they called you and said, "Hey, I'm listing my home with you because you're Miss Redlands and you're competing against multiple agents." What happened to you mentally, physically, spiritually? How'd that make you feel?
I realize like now, all the work or all the SEO stuff is finally working. It's been almost a year. So I'm seeing it like now work. So it was actually funny to me. I didn't laugh then, but I just couldn't believe it because she said, we're gonna go with you because you're Miss Redlands. That's how she ended it, So it was just cute. I don't know. I liked it.
Yeah. And so you're getting ready to embrace other strategies and tactics, maybe the potential Miss Redlands mobile. And any other ways you're leveraging DLE to, dominate your geofarm?
I'm doing the HomeBot. I did change everything to Miss Redlands. I got numbers from Title. I'm getting more numbers. Swag, I ordered more swag. And I've been going to the gym finally. So I need to start wearing my DLE swag to the gym. So I ordered that.
Yeah,
and then I am planning to do my car, but And I am gonna do the newsletters. I will be doing that as well.
Okay, love it.
Mhm.
Okay, Mr. and Miss Yakima. Recently, this is kind of exciting because we got, Mark here. He's a commercial broker down here in Southern Cal, lender. What's it like having an international real estate brokerage, Mr. Yakima? I heard from Miss Yakima that you're getting calls. People are finding you on Google, and you want to share with us how that's making you feel?
Yeah, we got married in January in Hawaii, and that's where we found out about this program from Miss Oceanside. And it took me 5 minutes listening to her talking about this. I was sold. I realized that it takes some time to, build it up and whatnot, but we are seeing the calls come through. We got 3 recently, 2 of which thought we were appraisers because we're ranking #1 as local Yakima appraisers.
Yeah.
Those particular ones didn't translate into business, but we understand that, this whole strategy is by far the best real estate branding marketing strategy, I think probably in the world. I mean, I can't think of a better one. And it's giving us the confidence to sit down with clients and tell them that, like, we feel like we're #1 and we're not just saying that. This is the system that we're using to back it up, and it's really something special.
Love that. Love that. And even email marketing, with our strategies, you're getting a good amount of listings and leads that way as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's good to hear. Love that. Love that. Hey, Mr. Fresno, you do meta injections as a Google local guide and doing some posts. Tell us about how you've embraced your lifestyle brand as Mr. Fresno. I know some local bars have renamed a shot after you. I know from talking to you that you get tens of thousands of views when you're dropping Mr. Fresno local guide reviews, and you got the Mr. Fresno mobiles. Why don't you tell us about some wins you've had as Mr. Fresno?
Yeah, so recently I did a takeover, kind of in combination with my birthday in a private group that I had started on Facebook a long time ago called Life After the Badge. We started with 4 guys. We're up to 290 members now. And so I invited them out we have a district, kind of like a more nightlife district here in the Fresno area. And there was a bar there that I did a photo shoot, James Bond photo shoot there, and connected with the owner of the club. And we decided to put on this event. We did 75 Mr. Fresno shots. So it's a custom made shot. The cool thing about that is I got to go in taste testing a couple of days before. And so he lined up all these different shots with different bases and stuff like that till we selected which one we wanted to do. And the whole evening, if somebody went up and they wanted a shot on this event and I was paying for it, they had to ask for a Mr. Fresno shot. So the cool thing was, as we had about 60 people that I knew, another 15 I wasn't sure, and then overflowers started coming in. More and more people started buying Mr. Fresno shots all on their own because they kept hearing a Mr. Fresno shot. So that was kind of cool. And then I also do the Google Maps where I'm rating as a local guide. And so daily I get requests from Google saying, hey, can you re-review this? Because obviously it's mapping me out, and it'll tell me, I had 60,000 views on a photo. It says I'm rating top 10 for gym goers and restaurants and bars and stuff like that. And it'll ask for additional information. And I go, and sometimes I even throw up a random photo of, just my car outside the business, stuff like that. And, me wearing my swag, or one of the local gym owners, he owns about 6 of them here in Fresno. Everybody knows his name's George Brown. So I took a picture with him side by side, said, hey, let me take a picture with the man, and posted that on there. So that's really cool. And then the same thing with the bar owner. The bar owner's talking with me about actually doing an event in this Tower District area where it will be called the Mr. Fresno event. We'll swag it out. We'll have posters and stuff. I'm also working on a campaign to sponsor a boxing match for fallen heroes here locally. So they're like, man, we'll put it above the scoreboard and alongside the ring, Mr. Fresno, sponsored by Mr. Fresno and stuff like that. And we'll mention your name however many times in the ring, saying that we're sponsored by Mr. Fresno for the fallen heroes. As far as phone calls and stuff like that, I've had some really interesting phone calls that I've managed to turn into extra reviews. So I had somebody that was looking, and he's new to the industry. And so I spent some time talking to him. He says, he's like, called 4 realtors and nobody answered the phone. And most people, they didn't even take the time. So I talked to him for a little while, and he says I was 3rd on the list for Fresno Realtor that day. And so I had him drop me a 5-star review, and he wrote in there how informational I was, how I helped him and encouraged him and things like that. So really nice review. Then yesterday I got a lady from Maine. So she was actually Googling from Maine. So that's where Anthony's talking about getting the SEO not just localized, but the national brand image where it's Fresno, California Realtor. I had been focusing on the short keywords, so now I'm really focusing on the long keywords. And she said that, yeah, I was #1 for Fresno Realtor in Maine. So she was calling, trying to look, she's going to plan on moving here, but it was for assisted living. So I took a few minutes to try and help her. And I told her I'd look up some information, call her back, and I plan on doing the same thing, asking her, say, hey, can I get a review from you for, trying to help out and stuff like that. I've closed 2 deals that were from basically being Mr. Fresno this last year. So what basically happened is, other people had heard about Mr. Fresno, and they were out of state agents. And so they sent me their clients. And after they looked up the marketing material and I gave them the spiel, I represented 2 buyers and closed 2 deals. One was in Fresno, this is a high price point, 750,000, and the other one was for 550,000. So those are really good deals, so little $1.3 million worth of deals by being Mr. Fresno.
Wow, love that. So you guys hear that? I love how you're leveraging conversations and staying top of mind to ask for that review. That's important, because we get a lot of calls just giving someone advice. That's a quick way to get a quick 5-star review, and that's genius. It's just remembering it in the moment and being able to send them that link quickly is critical. Thanks for sharing, Mr. Fresno. I love that. Speaking of international real estate offices, I remember, Miss Mission Viejo, you with us on here today? Let me see. There you are. Miss Mission Viejo, can you share with us? I know you've been getting a lot of calls from London and Britain and, some homeowners there. And how's that working out for you? And how's your email campaigns going?
Well, I have not started on my email campaign, but I do have to say that I just closed my first DLE deal. Not as fancy as, like listings. It's actually a lease, a rental, but that one is going to transition into another $3 million deal because she's done with the rental. She said, I want to focus on buying property, right? So I guess it's humble because it's a rental, but I'm glad I did it because she just referred me to somebody else as well on top of, she wants to purchase an investment property. International, so 2 from London and 1 from New Mexico. So that's still in a nurturing process, but we're communicating. Yeah.
Love that. That's exciting.
And I also kind of want to speak on behalf, of quite a few of us that are introverts and not comfortable being out there. So I guess the breakthrough is I finally got my car wrapped. So you kind of have to go through the process, right? Like being timid. I'm not Miss Mission Viejo here, but once you overcome that fear, I guess you just play the part, right? And I'm driving, it's like, I don't care, I am Miss Mission Viejo, that kind of thing. Yeah. So I just kind of want to share that.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's so exciting, Miss Mission Viejo.
Yeah.
Like, tell me about it, because it's on the back of your car, and I know you got it on the back, and we're getting it on the sides.
On the sides, yeah.
So how do you feel when you're driving it? I mean, because it causes, strangers to like approach you and, so how are you feeling so far? I know you're fresh and you're new into it, but it's kind of pulling you out of the shell a little bit. Is that how you feel?
Well, the first time when I first drove it, it wasn't done right. It was really obnoxious. It was really big. And that's really not me because I wanted it to be really classy, but it was like, whoa, he messed up, right? But I
Right.
had to drive the car because I had to go for my walk. And I'm like, oh, dear Lord, I hope nobody sees me, that kind of thing, you know? And I told my husband, can you just use my car? So, can we just swap? You know, I said, no, I'm not driving that car. So anyways, I had to drive the car and it was a little bit awkward.
Uh-huh.
But once I was done with my walk, I'm like, I don't care, whatever, you know. So you just kind of had to take it step by step for those of us that are not comfortable. And once you're, I think I'm at a place where I don't care. I'm just gonna wear it. I'm just gonna be proud of it. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
love that. I love that because what you're experiencing, it's called imposter syndrome.
yeah,
And what I've learned for like the introverts, right? Like you got like Mr. Chatsworth, Mr. Fresno, Mr. Claremont on scale from 1 to 10, 10 being the most. We're all 10s. But if you're like 5 or below, it's like when you wear the swag and you put it on the car, it forces you to obviously be approached and have conversations and open up. And you get to that point where you just don't care and you
I
embrace
don't care. Yeah.
it. And see, that's when the magic happens.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's happening right now, but it took me what, a year and a half?
Right. But then when you actually have it applied like you do, it's like 3 months of just you living your life and, and then you eventually transform. And then just like you said, you end up playing the role and then
Yes.
you become it. You know what I mean? And
Yes,
it's
yes,
life changing. It's exciting. I can see that little smile on your face and that little grin. You love it. I know it. Yeah. So I'm
I'm
glad.
like, I don't care, you know. I mean, you guys are not paying my bills, you know. I mean, I have people that, you know, but
Yeah.
anyways, it's good. It's a breakthrough, I guess.
Huge breakthrough. Congratulations. Love that.
Thank you.
And what I would like, I mean, Mr. Cypress, I see you on there today with us. And, I think another big point is like Mr. Cypress he hit the modern day billboards pretty well. If you can hear us, Mr. Cypress, you want to share with us any recent wins?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I took this listing in Cyprus and, it's great to hear because now people are starting to recognize and they come up, oh, so you're Mr. Cypress. And so I actually had a neighbor that walked down saying, hey, you know what? Our neighbor just, they just lost their mom. So they're going to be selling their house. And we came over here to get your information so we could give it to them because of what we're seeing you do and how big you're blowing up. So I've been getting a lot of compliments all around the city, actually, because I have the modern day billboards where it just says, we heart Mr. Cypress. I have them in I actually go door knocking a lot, so I actually have my own farm that I've been working, but now this year I'm taking over the whole entire city, so there's about 13,500 houses that they get. Justice just sold mail out called action with a short code and QR code. I also have a flyer distributor that's helping me, so I'm hitting them quarterly than everyone in the entire city. Quarterly where it's me, but then everyone's getting a market update flyer from my distributor. So they're getting all these touches. I also have a lot of homeowners in the HomeBot system, and I just got a hit on HomeBot just yesterday of someone that's been thinking about moving to Georgia. And he already told me, once I find which state, because he doesn't know if he wants to go to Florida or Georgia. Once he figures out where he wants to go, we're gonna go ahead and list his house for about $950. The neighbor who lost their mom, it's unfortunate because I actually knew who she was, and it's always not good when you hear those news, but they are going to be selling, and that's going to be around 900. And then I have a listing appointment today from someone that I do. So something, if you guys aren't doing, I do like a spring cleaning for the neighbors. You can put on your Google profile saying, hey, I'm collecting canned foods or donated clothes, and you go by and pick it up. So just because I've been doing that, I have a listing appointment just from picking up donated clothes from this one of the neighbors. And then I have another lady that came into my open house, asked me who I was, and she's ready to downsize. So we're gonna be listing her house for 1.3, and chances are she's probably gonna end up buying this house I'm listing today. So I'm gonna be double dipping on that.
I love that. Now, everyone, did you hear how Mr. Cypress knows his geo farm? He knows there's how many homes? 13,500, right? Now, when you're at these open houses, because remember, real estate's a contact sport, right? Mr. Cypress, are you wearing your swag when you're having these conversations with people?
I don't leave the house without wearing swag. Like Mr. Chatsworth down there, I had an aloha and a luau theme for my open house. So I actually had two Hawaiian shirts embroidered with the Mr. Cypress.
Oh, I want to get one of those. Those Hawaiian shirts are nice.
And
Cool.
then I have a buddy of mine, he does embroidery, and he's gonna be picking up 24 hats for me. So I'm gonna be handing out to clients. I already have a bunch of friends that want them to help promote me at the gym or whenever they go out.
I love that. And Mr. Cypress, be brutally honest, how does it make you feel when they look at the Mr. Cypress logo on the Hawaiian shirt and they look you in the eyes? Do you recognize the difference?
They're just like, wow, you even have it on your Hawaiian shirts. I was like, yeah, it's everywhere. Like, I'm proud of it. Like, it's who I am. It's who I am.
And then they approach you, they trust you, and they want to get your information and give it to other people. You see that comment, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And going back to the new day billboards. I have a lot of partners. I try to get in contact with the local business owners, and so they let me put the sign in front of their establishment, and also put in my flyer box with the bulletin, the Cypress bulletin, and then also all the neighbors that actually know me that I've grown to know over the last couple of years. They let me plant a sign right in front of their yard. So I have about 20 signs planted right now. I'm about to order my other. I already have the other 40. I just, people are requesting them now because of how highly they support me.
Oh my gosh, love that. Now, you guys hear that? His geofarm's 13,500 homes. Do you guys realize when he says like, hey, a $950,000 listing, that's the lower end of the city, which is great. That's what I focus on in Claremont. I love the 800 to 2 million price point because you could just double end them hard, keep it rolling. But Mr. Cypress is on track. If he just captures 3% of the listing inventory in Cypress of a geofarm of 13,500 on the lowest end, just 3% of the lowest end inventory for the year, he could easily make 700 to 1 million plus net GCI, right? Think
Correct.
About $1 million listing sign at 6%, you chop it down to 5%, that's 50 grand, right? So if he gets two $1 million listings and double ends them both at 5%, that's 100 grand, right? That's the mindset, you see? Now, Mr. Cypress, let me ask you, you got 20 plus of the modern day billboards up. When you interact with people, what is that famous line they always say, which is gold to a realtor? What do they tell you? We see
you everywhere.
That's it.
That's all. I'm also on the grocery carts. So it's all a psychological thing, right? Because they start seeing you everywhere. They're like, oh yeah, you're everywhere. So, and the thing is, when they see these, We Heart Mr. Cypress signs, they think they're a for sale sign.
I know.
That they just drive by. So they're like, wow, you're selling everywhere. So it's just
That's pretty cool.
It's crazy because psychologically, people, like what I've learned, people don't care. Like you get all embarrassed asking for a review. Some people care, whatever, next one. But I've realized that too. Like, I had some time the other day and I put out 6 of them. And yeah, the neighbors thought, they're like, why? One of the neighbors thought, because I just sold 6 here in Claremont, and I had a door knock the street just sold for this horse property I double ended. And they said the same thing. They're like, you just listed half of Claremont. I was like, I always say this. I'm always like, just working hard. I just don't even acknowledge what they're saying, but you're right. They literally view it as a year-long listing sign. It's incredible. I mean, I've learned that too. I mean, I'm glad you brought that up. It's
yeah, absolutely.
And the best part about that, it's not like you're sponsoring the baseball team and spend $800 for a banner that's only up for 3 months. These are up forever. You know what I mean? And they're easy to replace. So that's, that's powerful. Yeah, thank you for sharing. Any other wins you want to share with us, Mr. Cypress? I love you guys in the Hawaiian shirts, and you got the your email marketing. Are you coming at them naming it Mr. Cypress Real Estate?
Yeah, I have Mr. Cypress Real Estate. I'm gonna start up the Cypress Digital Bulletin. I'm gonna be working that, so that's gonna get released June 1st. Just piggybacking, and then they also get another newsletter from me monthly that another VA does for me. So it's pretty much they're gonna be seeing me in their mailbox, at their front door, and in their email.
Love that. And then I remember you mentioned, you got some calls on Google and they're in your pipeline, but they found you on Google, so you're starting to rank.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for the majority of the keywords, I'm probably like top 5 on the majority of the keywords.
Right. So it's just that video content, collecting video reviews. The best advice I could give the people that drop the billboards, go for reviews from them and the businesses, but be like Mr. Fresno. He's positioned himself as he's like an influencer in the city, right? So if you go to these businesses you take that HomeBot data that's getting the instant CMAs, we do the digital version of the bulletin, and that tech stack I'll show you. But the power really comes from going to those businesses and saying, hey, I'm going to advertise for you. Let me, as Mr. Cypress, a local influencer, leave you a 5-star video review and then interview them. Hey, what do you love about Cypress? How long you been in Cypress? And what do you want to say to the people, right? And then you interview him as a local guide. And if you meta inject that and drop that review on their business, and then you wear the Hawaiian shirt swag, and then you do a quick selfie and get them to leave you a review, Google's going to see Mr. Cypress is getting, reviews from local IP addresses and businesses that have been there for a long time. And it's going to, if you could create a habit with that, it'll hit hard. You know what I mean?
Right. Yep.
But it's just remembering in the moment. So that's always, that's always exciting. Okay, well, that is, I'm loving all of that. Now, let's see here. Anyone else want to talk about anything in general? Who else wants to share some wins?
I actually just secured the largest listing of my career yesterday, Anthony.
Oh, how'd that go? I know we were talking yesterday. This is Mr. Rancho, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, I signed a listing yesterday. It's going live September 1st in Newport Coast for $62.2 million.
What? Okay, 62.2 million?
Yeah, so I sold a house last month. I closed on for 17.5 million, and that person that bought that house is selling this home now.
Wow.
Yeah, so
wow. How does that make you feel? Like, are you trying to keep your feet on the ground, or like, what do you?
I mean, it's, to be honest with you,
what's that feel like?
It's cool. I mean, it's really cool to be able to experience these homes, but as long as I'm following just the contract, to me now it's not much different, but we're starting to tap into those higher end homes. But the Mr. Rancho thing for me is new. But it's really starting to take effect in my backyard now as well. So it's definitely working out.
Dude, that's exciting. Congratulations. I mean, that's I guess here's my question. When you're on the listing appointment, and then you're asking them to sign on the dotted line for a $60 million listing, were you nervous? Did you just take a deep breath?
I wasn't nervous. I wasn't nervous because I knew that I had it locked in today, that somebody was, they sent me their proof of funds when they bought the Bayside house last month in Coronado and all this type of stuff. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, they trust me. They trust me. But now the ability for me to come back and I run a team of 75 agents, to come back and share that experience with them for the first time is you see a pep in everybody else's step, knowing that somebody on the team is a part of this.
And then you just got a $5 million listing in Upland, the biggest listing ever in the history of Upland.
4,599,900 goes live on Monday, and then I have 5 listings from that same seller. I mean, we've been busy, man. We did roughly 29.5 million in volume closed in April.
Wow. Congratulations.
So we're moving along. I'm just trying to find time to make sure that the branding, but I just did my Google walkthrough video for my Mr. Rancho office. But I'm getting a lot of people recognizing the shirt, and yeah, I mean, it's
still got that Porsche. I want Mr. Rancho on the side of your Porsche.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's a $10,000 wrap right now, Anthony. So we're gonna hold off on that one. But yeah, we're definitely gonna get something soon.
Well, that is really exciting, and congratulations there. But yeah, once you get it approved, you just want to position yourself to get the SEO to a point where, you know, you can, they see Mr. Rancho, Google it, and then your team pops up, you know, it's Mr.
Yeah, and I
Rancho's
think the
phone.
other thing too that I really want to mention is this is something I did before Mr. Rancho. Is if somebody asks me right now how many homes are listed in Rancho Cucamonga, I can tell you there's 100 in single family residents as of 6 a.m. this morning and 30 condos. Right? Like I can exactly tell you what, where, who, why. You know, last month there was 75. There's 100 single family today. We're increasing. So if you really want to consider yourself the designated local expert, preaching to your audience on social media of current market statuses coming from you directly is really, really big. And the other thing too is, let's face it, anybody can learn a contract and write an offer, but it's being a market expert and understanding, you know, your comps and understanding all that stuff. It just makes it so much different.
Right.
It really does.
Yeah, I mean, just being able to, you know, take these big dog listings you have. I mean, you could obliterate anyone at Rancho now. I mean, you got this, you know, Mr. Rancho selling California. The dude's got offices on the beaches all over.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
you-
we just opened an office in Laguna Beach, getting ready to open up an office in Scottsdale, Arizona, and then Los Angeles as well. But the numbers we're speaking of are just me. My team is separate. They're all a lot of brand new people. They're running on Flex and Zillow and all that stuff. So the Mr. Rancho stuff for the listing side is primarily just me, but I'm just spreading the love for all of these younger agents to understand how easy it is to grow your name in a backyard you've been born in, as long as you're just staying consistent every single day. That's
Right.
it. So
Now,
I really
everyone,
appreciate
you
the
know,
opportunity.
Mr. Rancho also has his own escrow company and he does a rev share. He's down to support you if you have questions, you know, on anything. You know, it's a cloud-based escrow company and you guys, you know.
Can I give a shout out to them?
Oh,
Yeah.
I think, yeah, Mr. Fresno's used them. How is Mr. Rancho's escrow? Is it sketch or is it?
Lily is friggin' awesome. My
She's
God.
legit hot. She's my favorite. They all fight over who I send my deals to. And they're
Yeah.
all obviously part of our company for our escrow officers, but I love working with her.
No, so I I won't. So you know, it's here in Fresno, really established. I had a local one, but again, you know, I wanted to incorporate all the aspects of the DLE. So I switched over to the other escrow company that I'm not going to say, and it was so rough. It was so choppy. I was like, and so I kept talking to the escrow officer, saying, "Hey, I need this. Hey, where's this at? Why is everything taking so long?" And finally, I told Anthony, I said, brother, I need help. I got to get out of this. This is making me look bad. I'm getting complaints. I'm almost getting into fights, arguments with the agents. And I don't want them to be like, hey, I don't want to deal with Mr. Fresno because he chooses crazy escrow companies. So here we go. I said, hey, hook me up, Bonnie, right? Because I text you exactly what Anthony told me to say, and I'm not going to say that because it's inappropriate, but I did. And then next thing I know, Lily calls me and we went through a whole meeting before. She has been so phenomenal. Like she really has. She's like, hey, George, the agent's not doing this. And I was on top of them. So I think we're closing our third deal here just in the last couple of months. So, I mean, phenomenal service. She's been the best. I couldn't be happier. I even had the agent on the other side said, hey, why do you use that company? I said, well, she told me every time you were lagging and I knew what was going on. Yeah. I said, and their feeds are really good. You guys are great. So, I mean,
we're comparable. We're definitely trying. So we're in the industry right now too. If you guys can learn this phrase, and I'll shut my mouth because this isn't my thing, but Anthony knows I've known him for 30 years. So I love to share my experience. If you guys can figure out a way to protect the equity of your sellers to the most of your ability, no matter what you do, if you say, I'm here to protect your equity, you guys are going to be rock stars. And that starts with the escrow, title, everything. It goes hand in hand. What's the point of me charging 4% or 5% on a listing if my escrow company is going to go and charge them $4 per thousand, and now they're going to be paying $15,000? It's irrelevant. So make sure everybody that is tied to your ancillary artery businesses that is supporting Mr. Fresno or Mrs. Or Mr. Cypress, all these people, just make sure they're aligned with your ethics as well.
Oh, I love that. I love that. So
No, I'll
So-
give him a 6-star out of 5.
Thank you. I'm gonna let her
Wow.
know that. She's
Yeah.
gonna have me buy her lunch because of all this. So
She is. I'll write her a letter too, so you're gonna have to take her to 2 lunches.
done. I will.
So what I'm hearing there is Mr. Fresno is really happy. He's getting, Mr. Rancho is going to support his marketing efforts with some sort of rev share.
Of course.
And A+ quality service, great pricing. Everyone's winning, right?
Yes.
And that's what I love about Mr. Rancho. He's down to hunt with you. And if you're going on a $10 million or $50 million listing appointment, hit him up, because I guess he's got some, portfolio to show he's closing big dog deals. You never know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Thank you. Guys.
that's huge. Mr. Rancho, thanks for sharing that with us. I really appreciate it.
Of course. Of course. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Okay, other wins. Anyone else want to share some wins?
My God.
Got Miss Pasadena there? I hear you. Miss Pasadena and I just did a deal together. We both made 30 grand. That was cool. So what about Miss Monrovia? I see you there. You got any wins lately? Oh. Okay, all right. What kind of see where we're at here?
Hi, sorry about that. Well, I do have a win. I had a lady that contacted me. She looked up Monrovia Realtors, and she found me on Google because she was hiking on the Monrovia Trail with her friend. They saw a house, and the friend wants me to contact the owner of that house, and she wants to purchase it. So I'm in contact with my title rep right now to get information on the house so I can door knock or contact the owner and try to get that house sold, hopefully. But yeah, she found me through Google.
Hey, it adds up. No, it's starting to hit. That's exciting. So you're okay. Well, then that's excellent. So you got a call there, and we're just warming up. And I got a lot of SEO updates, but we don't have enough time today to really cover it. But gosh, love that.
The good news is we've got another call a week from today, because we slid last week's call into today, so we get two weeks in a row.
Excellent. Yeah, and basically, so next week we're going to be hitting it hard on Google Update. Jeff is really he's in constant contact with the software developer, and we have a custom app that's going to be able to be downloaded from the iPhone or Android, and you can pick your keywords, English, and then we're going to look into now Spanish and other languages, so you could set them in there, lock them, load them, save them, and that way you could stay super consistent, with launching them on your social platform. So we're going to make that real smooth and easy for you, and we're also doing press releases, and we'll talk about that, next week. So yeah, with that being said, okay, so anyone else want to share any weekly wins, monthly wins? It's exciting hearing you guys getting all these listing calls, and Miss Thousand Oaks, you there? I just saw you pop on there. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here. Good morning.
Good morning. Good to see you. I was texting you. I really love, that EXP, your business card where it said reserve with the buyer. Love that idea. Any wins that you've had recently you want to share?
I have actually gotten a couple of calls. They are not looking to sell, they are renting. So I did connect one guy with a leasing office that I work with. And so whenever they decide to sell, the lead comes back to me. So we got that rented out. And then another lady called me, and it really wasn't related to anything except she has an ADU in the back that she's been renting to somebody who has turned out to be a hoarder, and she didn't know what to do. So, I think I missed the boat on her. I should have asked for a review after I helped her.
That's
so I'm picking up these little tidbits of where it could turn out to be a good win. And, so far that's pretty much it. People are asking me where my sash and crown is. They think I should be walking the plank, I guess, with something, but
Well, you are a
you
good
know.
looking female, so it kind of ties into it. You know, if you look like Mr. Chatsworth, he doesn't get those questions, you know.
Yeah. So, I'm working with my title rep about, with the geo farm. So I've picked up a lot of information about how to get myself out there more because like your territory, my territory is very competitive to a point where these realtors are really nasty. So I'm gonna have to try to find ways to fit in between the cracks, and so I'm still working on finding those ways.
I would, if I was you personally, I'd connect with like, Miss Mission Viejo. I know Miss Yakima and, Miss Oceanside. The car wrap's extremely powerful. It really is. And
Yeah. The only problem is I live in an HOA and they don't allow us to do that. So I would have to find a way to park it in my garage, and we have like 4 hot rods that kind of have, first dibs on the garage usually. So I have to find a way to do that.
let's get it on the hot
Get
rod.
a car cover. Get a car cover.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, thought about that. Probably need to get a car cover and put that around and stuff. So yeah, I'm finding I need to be more creative and find ways to do things like that for sure.
Yeah, I mean the key is like getting your name out there and top mind awareness, and the we heart Miss Thousand Oaks signs get hit hard. Mr. Cypress is doing it, but you see like the momentum Mr. Cypress has now, like
yes, I like it.
It really compounds. That's what I want you to see. It's like he didn't wrap the car yet, but what he's done is he's getting the bulletins and he's ordering 5,000 of them in his geo farm of 13,500, right? He's targeting a track of 5,000 homes and just hitting it over and over. But he's taken the time to, get the signs up, get the reviews, he's ranking. And then when he does the open house, everyone knows him and he's perceived as like this local authority, this public figure that they feel safe and comfortable referring out. And with that, business card you made, that's how you position yourself. You just need to get a few of those. You just got to have your name out there, right?
Right.
And, that's where I see, Miss Riverside with us. She's big into the gym. And, I hope you're listening here, Miss Riverside, because I want to see you get some swag on when you're at the gym, And
yeah.
that's
I've got mine on.
Yeah, I mean, the key is like just we're all about increasing online visibility, but the increasing your in life visibility to the point where people just say, I see you everywhere is the key. Because then when you go on the listing or you're asking them to refer you out, it's just natural, So,
Hey, Anthony, can I add something to that?
Yeah.
What I want you guys to understand, or I hope you understand, and it was a hard lesson for me, is that this system is very much akin to compound interest from the bank. It pays you dividends on the dividends it's paid you as well as on the principal. So this whole thing snowballs and it takes time. It's geographic farming in a digital way, and it's digital door knocking. But if you stop, you may be 3 steps away from actually hitting gold. And I learned it last year. I did one deal last year because of all the SEO problems I had, and I fought through it. And I've never had it. My first year, I did 28. I never had a year so dismal. And I kept doubling down on the work, and now I'm getting the benefit of a year of just investing my time into the system. So don't quit, keep doing it. It works.
Love that. So, and it's true, like, the general rule of thumb that I've always experienced with any form of, geofarm prospecting, whether you're door knocking, cold calling, print mail, email marketing, you go out there and it's, you hit it hard for, let's say 3 months of prospecting, you get all these leads, and then it's just you're building your pipeline, and then some of them hit and they carry into the next year. But yeah, the best way he described it's like this huge compounding effect as long as you stay consistent, with whatever you're doing. If it's wearing the swag, if it's having it on your car consistently, if you're consistently email or print marketing, or obviously consistently ranking high in Google, it's a matter of time before it just, that momentum hits. And that's the key right now for all of you. What I want is, we're coming up into, July, and towards the end of July, when they turn the lights out, I want you to have that momentum going with all these listings and have it snowball. And once you just get one good listing in your geo farm, like Mr. Cypress has or Mr. Chatsworth, you could really leverage that listing. Whether you're doing pancake breakfasts, open houses, you door knock a just listed, just sold, or email market, or really launch it on Google like Mr. Tustin did and got a come list me phone call from a Spanish speaking guy. It just, everything we do is tied and interconnected together, and it's powerful. And my most recent win was, they saw the Mr. Claremont Sprinter van. It was a lady walking the Dalmatian. And when I was in her house, I asked the husband to ask, Google and type in there, who's the best real estate agent in Claremont. Then I said, don't look at the people that are sponsored or paid for ads. Who does Google trust organically? And then when he saw Mr. Claremont #1, when he asked Google, and I said I was selected by DLE, I knew the stats in the city, like Mr. Rancho said, and I said, look, there's currently, only 11 homes north of Baseline here. I just sold 3 of them. And I was selected, to be Mr. Claremont as a Claremont real estate wealth management expert. I'm overseen by the DLE, and I'm 100% performance-based and offer a withdrawal guarantee. And I'm the most trusted name in real estate by Google. So when he saw that, and I handed him the bulletin, he saw all the homes I sold. And obviously, when he Googled best realtor in Claremont, he saw 80+ reviews. Where do I sign, right? And that was the listing appointment. It was literally just like, Google me, here's a magazine. He saw me on the car, text me. The wife texted me, are you the Mr. Claremont guy? But it all stemmed from just having it on the car, like Mr. Chatsworth, right? And it allowed me to be approached by a stranger and have a conversation. And then, then I get the listing signed, and then the neighbor next door wants to sell. And then I did the sign writer program. I don't know if you guys are crushing it with the sign writer, but I'm still killing it, right? And long story short, I double ended the last deal. Everyone checked it into my open house with the sign writer. And now I have the buyer for this listing. So it just keeps on rolling, and for me, that's, it's exciting when you gain that momentum in this business, and you're not just caught up in, a rat race where you're paying the Google call per click or paying, these online platforms. You just never want to get caught up in that. So my goal for you is to position yourself to create the momentum before July, so you get all these listings and then you just snowball it. And, that whole, sales swagger momentum, it's real, and it's all just confidence. And you just need one, like Miss Mission Viejo, she got a lease, right? But it was still a home, and it led to a person who's going to buy some for $3 million. So you just need something to get that momentum and just keep it rolling. So thank you for sharing that, Mr. Chatsworth. That's, extremely helpful. Appreciate that. So, okay. So with that being said, any other wins? Miss Yakima, you got any more wins for us you want to talk about? Anything you heard or see or can relate to?
Well, we have, like Josh mentioned, we have received a lot of calls. And I was just going through when you were talking earlier, we just closed it was a very small transaction. I got a referral from another agent out of Texas, actually, that Googled Yakima, and we came out. I showed that client property. It was the first house he saw. He wrote an offer, got the offer accepted. It was small. It was 300, but got it closed in 3 weeks or less and stuff like that.
And that was a referral from another agent, right?
That was a referral from another agent. I also got a call. We are getting the calls. Got another call from a client that had 4 properties, kind of in the outskirts of Yakima. But she had 4 properties to list. She Googled us, it came up and she basically called us. So we went out there for the appointment and stuff like that. So for us right now, we are doing HomeBot. We are working on the newsletter as we speak, implementing. I did what you talked about last time in our last appointment. I showed people, and I think it is powerful, the MailChimp app with your loaded clients in there. You know, I think it does add credibility when you're in front of a client and tell them, and oh, by the way, these people are in my database. I'm sure they would love to hear about your property that is currently in the area. So I thought that was very powerful. Working on the wrap as we speak, can relate to Mrs. Mission Viejo. The wrap that they designed for us, it was a bit loud, but they showed us the sketch, so they had not wrapped the car. So we are currently modifying. So I'm happy to share that once we get it. Josh wants to add more HomeBot people into the system and just blast them and go out there. I'm more conservative, but I think we're going to do that. We're ordering a lot of swag for clients who at open houses, backpacks, anything with Mr. and Mrs. Yakima, just a lot of stuff like that. And really, really, for us working on the reviews, because just like you guys said, if you have a video, if you have a review, if you're infusing and you're putting it out on YouTube or whatnot, it does go up. The rankings do change. So we're learning that we need to constantly be feeding it versus video, tag, social media, anything that you're doing. You want to make sure that the latest one I was talking to you about yesterday, how do we put the videos on the Google business page?
Oh, this is a good one. Yeah.
So this, I think we should start, we're learning about it, is do you have a video, any recent video of a house, social media thing that you're doing? Say of a new listing, you do a quick reel. Upload that reel to your Google business page. You can go under, I think under events. Under events, you can schedule the open house, but make sure that you do try to upload it to your Google business page and track where you're basically ranking with your profile. But we're starting to do that. So upload not just on YouTube, upload them to the Google business page. I think that's a big one. So
Love that. So what she's talking about, everyone, is, if you click your Google Business Profile app and then you hit the drop-down menu, there's 3 options. It's add offer, add event, add update. You could leave video content. I mean, you could literally hit all 3. So like we got, let's say Miss Yakima's, wearing the swag. So like, hey, it's Miss Yakima just listed. And, you do the tour of the home, meta inject the tour. And when you launch it as an event, which is, I don't know if you can see, if you just click on, maps and then you hit the drop down, it's there. Here's the key. When you meta inject that video with the team and then you post it there and you're having an event and it's an open house, when it feeds on your Google business profile and you click on, updates, like you Google yourself and you see the update feed, it has a little square with an arrow pointing up. And if you click on that, it gives you a link. Well, that's a virtual tour, everyone. You got to leverage the MLS for the branded virtual tour section. And imagine taking that link, which is a direct hardwire connection to your Google business profile, and it's a video tour of Miss Yakima and Mr. Yakima talking about this new listing, and you put it in the MLS, and when you hit submit, you got to have, max out all 75 photos. Those are your Trojan horses. But that little tour, the branded virtual tour, still shotguns out to thousands of real estate websites, and it's going to store on their server and point back to you, right? So just remember, like, I'm looking at a picture right now behind Mr. and Miss Yakima, and it's a picture of a buffalo. Well, guess what? I don't give a damn how smart Google and AI think they are. They can't look at photos like us and know what it is without metadata. That's what metadata is. Google and AI are blind geniuses that can't see. And that's where, the software we've created injects the metadata, and we're the first agents teaching Google and AI how to read picture and video content the way we want them to see it, right? And so when you integrate and leverage and think of it like that, hey, I want this blind genius to be in my favor, and I'm going to be the first one to teach them how to read these photos and videos, it's huge, right? But those update sections, you're right, that video content, and look, everyone, her phone's ringing off the hook Okay, Mr. and Miss Yakima, be honest. You guys got back from Hawaii. You've only been with us for a few months, but you've been hitting it hard every single day. I feel like you picked up the DLE book like it's the Bible and you got a couple weeks to live. I mean, I'm really proud of you guys because you've been hitting it hard and it's been paying off quickly, right? Would you agree with that? I mean, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, it was very overwhelming because when we logged in and saw all of you all set up, I'm like, man, it took a while. I think the Google business page was the biggest. You got to get it right. It's not easy. It seems like it's easy, and then they shut you down. That's normal, I guess. Just shake it off, keep going, get the Google page. I think that is the number one. Work on your reviews. And then as you get more comfortable, add the videos. And that's exactly what happened with us. We just got more comfortable, like, okay, we got it, we got it. And we started to build on that. And then we just listened to what everybody was doing. Everybody, we're all doing the same thing. We're just, I think, being more organized of how we're doing it. It takes time. We started technically with the designation the end of January. So it's now May. We are getting the calls now. And this is just the beginning. We're still tweaking, modifying, changing things, finding what's working, listening to you, what you're implementing, and see what works for us. And so we're happy to be a resource, and we're very happy with the designation. You know, I think we just started, you know, but I think it's long term. And so I definitely do see a lot of upside as we move along. So, but it hasn't been easy, not easy. I want to say it takes time, and just it takes time to get, you know, to get everything set up. So, yeah.
And so, but it is challenging because you're learning, you know, a high level of tech, right? You're trying to understand, you know, the modern day brick and mortar, what's Google, there's a deep root to this NAP consistency, like what's generative AI. And it's kind of like when you first got an iPhone, it's intimidating at first, but then as you use it and you get used to it, you eventually get your bearings. But I'm glad you said that because, you know, it's the most important pillar to geofarming is, you know, your modern day brick and mortar, and then being able to go on the offense, like I always say, and being able to own and control it. Mr. Yakima, I 100% agree. See, your brand is Mr. and Miss Yakima Real Estate. Why don't you get the data from all the surrounding cities, plug it into HomeBot, and I want you guys to reach out to Mr. and Miss Laverne. They're just like you guys. And you know, the notepads that you order, because you're up in Washington, imagine all those HomeBot leads, you know, like, for example, I posted, I have 150 of them. I followed up, by the way, on last Saturday. I got in trouble with the wife, but I'm like, I just got to get out. I was just dying. Like, I'm like, there's 150 damn listing leads. But then, you know, I only got to the first 3, and I went to the ones at the top of the hill that were 2 million. He goes, yeah, I'm selling. You know, I don't like the crime in the neighborhood. And then, you know, and then we started talking. I was like, but the key is I didn't call him. I didn't email. I went up and just knocked on his door with the notepad, right? See, that's the money maker in the follow-up, right? Is when you get these listing leads, think about it. Every single real estate agent in the United States is doing what? They are, okay, expired listings. There's been this pandemic of spam calls, texts, and emails, right? There's nothing more powerful when you wear your swag and you just knock on the door. And I always hand them the notepad and just write a little handwritten note. People love it. It's authentic. I invited him to the open house that I sold last week, and I know he's not going to show up. No, he's not. People are busy. And if they do, sorry, just sold. You know, let's get your home on the market, right? But the point is, you get all these listing leads, right? Through your print mail, or if it's, you know, through the email marketing, or you're getting calls on Google, you locate the address, you wear your swag, maybe wear the Hawaiian shirt swag. I love it. Why? It's not intimidating, right? So if you're wearing a Hawaiian shirt with your designation like Mr. Cypress or Mr. Chatsworth, and you just happen to be driving by the neighborhood and you write down on a notepad, and remember, if you're dropping a notepad in person, don't get cheap. The 25-page notepad, I grabbed 4 of them, so it's equivalent to 100. Because if you try to mail a 100-page notepad, it could cost you like $30. So you might as well just grab 4 of them. And on the top one, right, hey, it's Miss Yakima. the network notified me, you're curious about your home value, just wanted to invite you out to our next event. Just write that. Put a little smiley face. Knock on their door. And when they're looking through the peephole, if they're looking at the Ring doorbell, I ring the doorbell like 5 times. And then they're either looking at me through the peephole or the Ring doorbell. And I always kind of sit there with my notepad and I just kind of go like this. I just go, like, I'm chill. Look at me. You know what I mean? I'm not here to rob you. Like, they look at the designation. They're like, who's this white guy? And he's got something in his hand. It looks like, doesn't look threatening. And they open the door. You see, the email open rate when it's Mr. and Miss Yakima Real Estate, it's incredible, right? I'm telling you, in real life, when the open door rate, when you knock on it and you're wearing swag, and they're like, oh yeah, that Mr. and Miss Yakima, they're the ones sending me those, market updates. They open the door. And when you hand them the notepad, right? And if they don't answer, and if you leave the notepad, it's gold. Because why? You could go back again with another notepad with a new note. Hey, these 10 homes just sold in your track. You want a free appraisal? Whatever. I offer, let's say you're outside of Yakima, Mr. Yakima. Let's say you get all the data from the surrounding city, plug it in, and they're like, well, what's Mr. and Miss Yakima Real Estate? Well, that's where I live. It's one of my designations. Won the beauty pageant 50 years in a row. They'll start laughing. Then, hand them the notepad. Even though it says Mr. and Miss Yakima, they're like, that's where I live. That's where our brick and mortar is, our virtual office. And we serve Yakima and all of Washington, but we specialize in Yakima and then list their city or the other surrounding city. And that's our, sweet spot. You know what I mean? And then every time I'm there in person, just remember, you're not really there to talk about real estate. You're there to build rapport. So just like I see the buffalo, if I knocked on your door right now and I see that buffalo picture, I always do this. Like how they're looking through me on the peephole or the little Ring camera. I kind of have a little smile. I'm like, I'm just waiting. Shit, I'll wait for 2 minutes sometimes. If I hear something and I know they're in there, I'll wait. I'll wait it out. Okay. And then when they open the door, and if the conversation's going well, I always squint my eyes and I'm like, oh my gosh, look at that picture of the buffalo. Is that new crown molding? And then I kind of move forward and they'll turn around and then I walk in. And then that's where you have the opportunity to build a rapport. But the point is, after the 150 listing leads, I only made it to 3 of them. Because they opened the door. Why? I was there on a Saturday when they're home. And I'm like, building rapport, and I spent like an hour with the first guy, 20 minutes with the second guy, and then another 30 minutes, and I was out of time. So if you do it right, and you just get the addresses concentrated and quickly figure out who's really selling, follow up with them in person, that's the name of the game, right? So if you're a husband-wife team, send Mr. Yakima. He's a strong-looking guy. They're not gonna, if you're afraid to go knock on a stranger's door, send him in. Get him boots on the ground. That's what I told Miss Pasadena. Get Mr. Pasadena Stan. Get him out there. He's the follow-up man, But that's the key, right? It's the in-person follow-up. You locate the address. When you wear the swag, it'll blow your mind on how they open up, their sales guard drops, and they invite you in the home, and they just want to chit-chat. It'll really blow your mind. So just stay on track and incorporate that. So, oh my God, it's 11:20. So, all right, everyone, excellent. I feel like we learned a lot today. I'm super excited. You guys might want to look into that Nextdoor app. A lot of members are leveraging that for SEO. And call or text, Jeff or any of us anytime, and we got you. So make it a great day, everyone. Great seeing you.
Thank you.
Thank you.